Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say, it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Tuesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Got a good show lined up today. It's always good to have Buddy Martin on a Tuesday morning, but in the second portion of today's show, we'll be joined by the head softball coach, Tim Walton, as they crank up their season this Friday in Tampa against South Florida. But in the meantime, we're going to head to Ocala, where good old Buddy Martin is hanging out bright and early. Good morning, Buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Shane. I'm good, and I'm glad that my Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. And by the way, I can say that because I was an original season ticket holder.
You were?
I was.
How much did you pay back in the day, buddy, for your season
believe
ticket?
we paid $50 a piece for them. I believe they were good. They were the best you can get. Sat I had the 50-yard line tickets, was a spectator. Got out of sports writing. 2 years, saw him lose all those games. Watched Steve Spurrier get the crap beat out of him, although he says he didn't. And after 2 years, I left and moved to New York and tried to sell my tickets, and nobody wanted them, so I gave them back to the Bucs.
Well, good for you. Yeah, it was a great Super Bowl for Tampa. The city of Tampa obviously is buzzing right now with their three professional franchises doing extremely well. Let's talk a little bit about the game, buddy.
All right. Champa Bay, they're calling it, yeah.
Champa Bay. Champa Bay. Well, first of all, let me get your thoughts on the game, and then I'll tell you mine.
Well, I mean, obviously the game didn't turn out like we thought. We thought we were going to have a really shootout, and it didn't work out that way. The star of the game, you say Tom Brady got the MVP, but he got it, but the defense really won the game. And the guy I picked to be the MVP before the game on Facebook was Devin White.
Really?
I did, yes. And I predicted he might get a couple of picks, maybe a turnover and a pick. Thought he would do a lot of hurries. The guy's got such unbelievable lateral speed. He's so quick on the ball and fast, and he's ferocious. To me, he is a cornerback and a linebacker body, and I think he's going to be a superstar, and showed it. I thought so. The question becomes, and we'll get to this later, maybe if you want to, who does deserve the credit for this?
Well, we can jump right into that, but first. Chris says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Buddy Martin called the Devin White interception before the game. There you go. You got people actually listening to your predictions, buddy.
Thank you.
My thoughts on the game, I was surprised. Okay, I'm a huge Patrick Mahomes fan. I think he's going to be the greatest that's ever played from an athletic standpoint. He's the most gifted we've ever seen. I think Andy Reid is a tremendous coach. I knew they had offensive line issues, missing three starters.
Right.
I thought that with 2 weeks to prepare, they would have a better plan because we knew that's the strength of the Bucs or their front seven on defense, rushing the passer. They didn't have a very good plan. But my MVP is Todd Bowles and everybody that played on the defensive side of the football. I mean, it's simple.
I can agree with you on that.
It's what they did to Drew Brees, and obviously Drew Brees and the Saints aren't the same because Brees has lost it and he retired. Aaron Rodgers was under duress because he was missing his all-pro left tackle due to injury. They harassed him. They beat them. Brady's story is outstanding. Brady's the kind of guy, he is the greatest quarterback of all time. He's the guy that comes into your locker room and immediately everyone is a better football player because they believe that they are going to win the game.
Absolutely.
He did not deserve the MVP. Take nothing away what he did. He was solid, but he threw for 201 yards. Okay. That's like high school stats. But the Tampa Bay defense is the story of the year to me. What Todd Bowles and Todd Bowles has had an opportunity to be a head coach before. It didn't go well, but nobody has success in New York.
Right.
But maybe Todd Bowles is maybe Todd Bowles is best suited just to be a defensive coordinator. And buddy,
Sure.
I had a buddy of mine that knows a lot of the coaching folks in the coaching world.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks Bruce Arians is, there was talk about him retiring because he's pretty old. Retiring if they want.
Wait a minute. Now, hold on. Don't say use that word old.
He's old when it comes to
only
coaching.
68, okay?
Right, when it comes to coaching.
Yeah,
so
the oldest ever.
He may step aside, but still be a part of the Bucs organization in some capacity and let Todd Bowles take over. I don't think he should because, what Bruce Arians, I was fortunate enough to get to play in his golf tournament. He and Coach Mullen have a charity event. It was not this past summer because we couldn't do anything. It was the previous summer up in Georgia. And I got to meet him. Really laid back, cool guy. But the great thing about him is he's done it different. He's got 2 African-American coordinators.
And 2 women.
Leftwich.
And 2 women.
And 2 women. And Keith Armstrong is a black special teams coordinator who's been around the league. I was
3
with him
coordinators and 2 women. That's amazing, isn't it?
So it's good for the Bucs. I was so impressed with their defense. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you something, buddy. I'm even more impressed with Patrick Mahomes after what he did. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback, unless it's on a Friday night or in Pop Warner, run for their life like he did. And he got away from everybody, and he was still throwing dimes laterally, falling to the ground.
360-degree turn, throws it up, and gets into the guy, hits him in the face mask. Should have been a touchdown. Amazing. Yeah. But I'm gonna say one thing about that right now, real quick, because I want to get this in. I love Patrick Mahomes, and I think he's going to have a bright future. But always remember this, Shane. If you remember nothing else about our time together on the show, nothing can be taken for granted. Because yes, he's got a lot of time left. And yeah, he could win 5-6 Super Bowls, but stuff happens. Listen, a long time ago, there was a young guy named Tiger Woods. Everybody told me he's going to beat Nicklaus's record. Nicklaus even said it. I said, hold on. Don't be not so fast, my friend. Things happen. Your whole life can change in a second. You can get a car accident. You can get ill. You can get with a bad team. You can lose. Things happen. That's why Brady's, no matter how people feel about him, and I know a lot of people don't like him and whatever, jealous, and Bradshaw admits it. He's jealous. I talked to him yesterday about it.
Why is Bradshaw jealous?
Well, because he's got hair, number one. number two, he just openly says he opens admits that any quarterback would be envious of Tom Brady, and Brady's got it all. He also says, by the way, that Belichick deserves a lot more credit he's getting for this. That everybody says, yeah, see what he can do without him. And yeah, but he says Belichick developed him to what he was. And Terry said openly, look, I'm an NFL quarterback, and you know this. If I say something critical, it'll be taken the wrong way. So let's just say Tom did fine, but Tom didn't throw a great pass all night. And by the way, I guess it's good enough to win 25, get 25 million, which he has getting this year and next year, which means Bruce Arians is not going to retire next year. So anyway, I got off subject here, but back to the point about you can't assume Patrick Mahomes will get there. Guys go to the Super Bowl when they're in their second year and think this is going to be great and never go again. So things happen. A lot has to go on there. I will say this final thing. I'll stop running my mouth, but what Bruce Arians did, he's a master chef. He has all the ingredients. He knew how to cook it, the temperature, what he wanted. I'll be honest with you. When he went to get Brady, I thought, that's not going to work. What Brady did is transformative. Maybe he doesn't deserve the MVP. He deserves the GOAT. I hate that term, but he deserves the GOAT. And those guys went there to play because, a lot of them, 5 of them did, because of Tom Brady. That's called leadership, which Coach Spurrier taught you. That's what that position's about. His chemistry. Arians was the cook, but the sous chef was Tom Brady.
Yeah, there's no question. As I said, once Brady decided to go to Tampa, I thought they had an opportunity because I knew this would be the most talented team he's ever played on. I mean, you think about the weapons he had around him, and then they added Leonard Fournette and pieces here. They added Antonio Brown. So they have an opportunity to make a run at it next year. I don't know I don't know who all's a free agent. I think I do know that Shaq Barrett, who is a beast at the pass rusher position. I know he's a free agent, but the Bucs have an opportunity.
Sue is one, and Gronkowski's another. So there's a couple of key ones right there.
Well, Gronk ain't going anywhere else. He doesn't play
he's
football.
A free agent. But he's a free agent. He got to be signed.
But he's a guy now that in his career, he's either going to retire or he will take a pay cut just to play to try to win again. Mike Evans has already come out and said he will take a pay cut to keep everybody around. So it'll be interesting. The team that's already picked to win the Super Bowl next year, you know who it is, right, buddy?
Kansas City.
Because they've only lost, I think somebody said, like 3 games in the last 30 something games.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing, and I could be wrong, but I heard that. But they, I was impressed with the Buccaneers defense and Todd Bowles. His plan was outstanding,
no doubt.
And I was still even more impressed with Patrick Mahomes. The beating he took, the ability to elude all those rushers and still make unbelievable throws. He's a talent we may never see again. We always say that, and then somebody else comes along.
I know,
but we shall see. But I was just surprised that Andy Reid and those guys didn't have another plan for pass protection, and a lot of it goes back to in the NFL, you're paid. Your job is to pass protect, whether you're the starter, all-pro, or you're the backup. And so a lot of times they don't want to keep their tight ends in, which Kelsey's a pass receiving tight end, not much, but he needed a chip or something to give the kid a chance. But Jeff says here Tampa was better, but Casey failed to adapt on offense. Once Patrick Mahomes started scrambling, the play was busted. Should have kept Pat in the pocket and called quick hit and run pass plays. The problem is they try to do short stuff, and I had Cooper Carlisle on yesterday talking about it because he and I watched the game together, and we were blown away at the front 4 of the Buccaneers. When you can get pressure on a quarterback with just your front 4 and you have 7 guys in the coverage, the passing lanes, the windows are so small, it's difficult. So kudos to the Buccaneers.
Great scheme, by the way.
Yes, there's no question. And here's the thing. Todd Bowles and those guys knew. Because if you go back to the previous game they played, I think Kansas City jumped on them early in the regular season and still won the game in Tampa. They made some adjustments in the second half that slowed the Chiefs' offense down. But the Chiefs had all their offensive line in place at that time. Yeah. So they looked at that. Then they knew in the last couple of games the Chiefs were missing key offensive linemen. So their plan was, hey, our front 4 is damn good. We don't have to blitz because Todd Bowles is a blitz-happy coordinator. I think they blitzed like 3 times the entire Super Bowl because they knew they could pressure with just their front 4. So great plan by them.
No running game by Kansas City. Couldn't run the football at all.
No, and they really don't. They really aren't a run team. But
sometimes Tampa, you got to run it. Sometimes, a little bit.
Yeah, John says Todd Bowles is the real MVP. There's no question. I thought Byron Leftwich called a tremendous game on offense.
Who is Byron Leftwich? I mean, I know who he is. I don't even play the Marshall, but here's a guy who all of a sudden is Tom Brady's best friend and confidant. His star he has really risen up there. And obviously you can tell Brady believes in him. The theory, and when you saw they embraced it at the end of the game. I mean, I had no idea Byron Leftwich, he was drafted, number 7 overall by the Jags. Mm-hmm. And then wound up coaching in Arizona and whatever. Somebody did a heck of a job of routing him out of there and giving him a chance because he
was the backup in Pittsburgh behind Roethlisberger when Arians was calling plays there. So that's where their relationship started.
But the offensive coordinator, did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming.
No, and like you said, when he was out in Arizona, Arians called a lot of the plays, but he had the title. But now it's his offense, and I think when you go back and you look at the entire year of the Buccaneers, the first 5, 6, 7 games of the year they struggled. They won some games, but they looked horrible on offense. And I think it's because Tom wasn't comfortable after playing in the same system for 19 or 20 years. It's hard, and you don't have training camp. You don't have preseason games. They looked out of sorts. And it looked like late in the year, it's almost like they had a meeting and said, look, Brady sat down with them and said, look, y'all are calling the plays, but here's what we need to do where I'm comfortable. Because I've told you a million times, buddy, you can call all the ball plays you want as a coordinator, but if the quarterback is not comfortable, it ain't going to do you a damn bit of good.
No.
So you could tell, like in the Super Bowl, their play action passes, the screen game. They lived on
that play action, didn't they? They lived.
Yeah, it was a lot of what you saw with the New England Patriots. So it's a great win for Tampa. It was a great way. I mean, they dominated the Chiefs, and we'll see if they can repeat. It's hard to repeat.
Well, what they have to do is get some of that Tom Brady $25 million and spread it around to some of these cats. You know, you got David, you got Godwin. You know, they need those 5 guys back at least: Sue, Gronk, David, Barrett, and Godwin to make it work. And gosh, Devin White's going to be just a monster next year. He's incredible. So this team could do it again. They could do it. Here's the thing. What you got here is you got a culture now all of a sudden in Tampa. And that kind of spreads around the state of Florida a little bit. You got a winning culture with now. If Orlando could get the Magic play worth a flip, and Urban can get the Jaguars back, we got some ball going on, man.
Yeah, there's no question there. Speaking around the state of Florida, kind of switching gears now that football's over. We're going to talk a little basketball.
Don't say that way.
Don't say football's over.
Pause. It's put on pause.
It's on pause until spring football, I guess, starts. I assume they're going to.
By the way, the 16th of March they start. 16th of March, Florida starts. Yeah.
Basketball's on hold right now with some COVID issues. Your thoughts on all that, buddy?
Well, I mean, it's unfortunate, and I don't know where this goes. I think it's perilously close to coming off the rails here, depending on what we see next outing. Because last game, all of a sudden, something happened to this team. I don't know what, but they were playing at a high level. And I remember Dan Dockett saying this might be the hottest team in the country. You know,
buddy, it was one game. Okay, you're talking about the South Carolina game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I like to tell everybody. Florida basketball is fine. If you want to bitch and complain, look at North Carolina, Duke, Kansas, UCLA, Indiana, Michigan State. All those I just mentioned are blue bloods that may not make the NCAA tournament. Florida's going to make the tournament. So you're going to lose some games.
Well, now, wait a minute. Hold on. They got to get enough games in. What if they don't get enough games in?
How many games you got to play?
I think France told me last night 16 was the number or something like that.
What's our record right now?
I got to go back and look at it. I don't know. I haven't looked at it. But my point is that it was disappointing to see that performance, knowing what kind of talent was on the floor, and they mentally sort of checked out. To get that game was in hand. They were up 6 points with about 6 minutes to go, and you go on a scoring drought. But you see that drought.
We see that all over college basketball. It happens. I don't understand how it can happen because we got good shooters. I mean, Trey Mann had some 10-foot jumpers that just didn't go in. Sometimes they just don't go in, and I'm not concerned about the basketball team at all because I watch a lot of college basketball. And let me tell you something. Our program is in better shape than Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Michigan State.
I hear you. I'm the biggest defender of Mike White out there. I have defended him to a point where I say, if you come on here on my show and you start ripping Mike White, I'll see you later. I don't want to hear it. I'm a huge Mike White guy. But that was a disappointing loss. I hope it wasn't endemic. I hope it wasn't something we're going to see more of. I get what you're saying, but I got to see it now. I got to see it because it's getting late. How many games you got to go? 7, 8, whatever it may be.
At least over a month left.
Yeah, but I mean, the games are running out. They went out and have a tournament. The SEC tournament, Kentucky's got one chance to get in the tournament. They ain't going to make the tournament unless they win the SEC.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We got another face. Going back to the Super Bowl here, I got to respond to Jeff here on Facebook Live. Brought to you by Melvin Law. He says Mahomes needs to add under center skills to his itinerary. Play action from under center still works and is much more effective than play action from the shotgun. Dude, there ain't nothing he needs to work on. They do line up under center, but they ain't going to line up under center when you got 3 starting linemen out in a Super Bowl.
Wait a minute, who sent that in?
Jeff on Facebook Live.
Sure, I wasn't Coach Spurrier.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Mahomes doesn't need to do anything from his skill set. Like I said, he is the most talented quarterback that's ever played the game. We got a couple of texts here, buddy.
All right.
This one comes from Leroy in Jacksonville. No, I'm sorry, Timmy in Jacksonville. I can't read. My eyes are getting so bad.
Leroy and Tim. It's similar, you know.
What does Brady's what does Brady's win do to Belichick's legacy?
Good question. It's a great question. I think I don't think it hurts him. I think what we see is that it helps Brady because he can do it without the maestro. But I think Belichick, I mean, look, I thought about this morning. If you were Bill Belichick right now, how would you feel about the Super Bowl? Proud?
Ooh.
Disappointed? Angry? Dejected? Rejected? And I don't know. But I think if I know him, he's a little bit obviously upset, but deep down inside, he's proud. That's his guy, you know. I mean, even though maybe they didn't part the best, and part of that's on Belichick. I mean, look, let's be honest. Belichick gave him no weapons the last couple of years. Think about it. You know, if he'd had, look at the weapons he's got now that Bruce Arians put on that field. Why couldn't Belichick have done some of that?
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. Because I mean, the Patriots skill guys the last 4 or 5 years have been awful. Refresh your vehicle and your brand with the vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. February is your lucky month at Wrap Spot. Mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. Speaking with Buddy Martin here on the Titan MR Hotline, you can follow him on Twitter at Buddy Show. Rick says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law, all the Gators need to do is call Ohio State to find out how you get in with few games played.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Buddy, we got another text here on the Titan MR text line. Comes from Fred. Fred wants to know, ask Buddy about his visit to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, I got that on my list. You don't have it. And I'm going to sound like I'm really, pimping for somebody here.
You're trying to get a free tab? Is what you're trying?
Well, I'll go for that too. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm overwhelmed. I mean, not just impressed. I am overwhelmed. What I saw out there, I'm thinking, what? It's amazing. If you haven't seen that tour yet, when you go out there, I could recite you 100 facts right now, probably. Not the least of which is the kitchen is 3,800 square feet. Hello? That's just the downstairs kitchen, the upstairs kitchen. There's the HBC private dining room where you can go have 12 people. I got to get a message to Freddie. Freddie, change that to 11. It should be 11 people, not 12. You get my number 11 reference.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The museum part of this thing is going to be spectacular. What they're doing with there. If they can find the shoe. You're looking for Spurrier's shoe he kicked the field goal with. People said shoe game. Well, there was a shoe game a long time before the one against LSU. Steve Spurrier kicked the field goal in the most unlikely places and times. Anyway, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be the 9th largest restaurant in the state of Florida. I mean, it's incredible. You don't even know what you're in for yet. I'm telling you, I've kind of been slowing my roll on it because I get excited talking about it. I'm not getting paid to say that, by the way. I'm just impressed, and I can't wait to get. We got a little video we're going to play later. Brenda did a little short thing with tour with Freddie. It's good, man. It's going to be something else.
Yeah, it is. I know everybody's excited. They've been working extremely hard to get that thing.
You'll be broadcasting out there, dude.
Yeah.
I went and saw the podcast.
They have podcast studios, all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah.
It is going to be phenomenal, no question. And somebody asked, Sandy asked, when does it open? April, maybe?
I'll tell you when. When they get 30% vaccination rate, that's when it'll open.
Okay,
gotcha. Expected to be April. Maybe it'll be Coach Spurrier's birthday. It's in April.
Yeah.
Born the same day as Hitler. That's just how it turned out. But anyway, it's something else, and it's going to be. If you haven't heard about it, check it out.
Let's get to this day in sports. It's brought to you by Comfort Temp. At Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. This month, get a free annual maintenance plan with every residential duct cleaning purchase, $199 value. The service department's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for your convenience. In 2006, Al Michaels joins NBC's Sunday Night Football broadcast with John Madden. That's what happened this day in sports. And I don't know how long Madden was on NBC because then obviously former Gator Chris Collinsworth joined Al Michaels in the booth.
I'm not good with those dates. I just remember when Madden started at CBS, I was living in New York, and there's a place called Runyon's, which is a local hangout for writers and stuff and media guys. And Madden started showing up there, and people said, "This guy's great. Man, you ought to hear this. This guy's a great story." I think, "It's another coach." I had no idea he was going to be as good, and nobody else did. What a career he had.
No
And
question.
Pat, the late Pat Summerall, who's from Lake City, friend of mine too, was his partner. Pat was a sweet guy. Really, R.I.P. to Pat.
I didn't know. We got a Facebook Live brought to you by Metal Law, and we're here from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. You'll like this one. Rick says, "When will Freddie have a drawing for free dinner at Spurs with Shane, Buddy, and the HBC?"
That's a great idea. I'm in. Free food for me and you, buddy. Come on.
That's right.
Promote that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Hey, in the HBC room.
Yes, no question.
If you can book it, maybe you booked up.
Yeah, we got another Facebook Live here brought to you.
Man, you've got a bunch of Facebook Live.
Good. David says, "Who was the greatest Monday Night Football commentating team?"
Well, I have to go back to the first one. Meredith, Cosell, and Gifford. I mean, just because it was the first, and I didn't, I mean, it was you're too young for that. But that,
I remember that's when I was a youngster. I used to be able to watch Monday Night Football, living in Mississippi on Central Time, buddy.
Really?
I was one of these.
Oh,
I was one of these kids that would go to bed at 9:00, even after when I was a senior in high school. Yeah. So on Monday nights, when I was a youngster, my parents let me stay up and watch Monday Night Football.
Well, there you go.
But after I had to go to bed after Howard Cosell did the halftime highlights.
Oh, I know that was something too.
Then I was required to go to bed.
Well, I tell you what, that was something else because people don't realize we didn't have 100 games on TV, right? We didn't know what happened. We got one game. I grew up watching the Washington Redskins. That's the only team we could get down here. You know that? Why? Because they weren't integrated. They wouldn't show them because they anybody else. I mean, that's what we're going. And I saw Jim Brown. I went, wow. Still the most amazing football player I've ever seen and the greatest of all time, Jim Brown.
Yeah. Last thing for you, buddy, before we let you go back to Gator football, you sent me a text the other day, and you asked me to take a look at Dan Mullen's roster. Yeah. And asked me what I saw. Yeah. I hadn't really looked at it, but what were you thinking there?
Fran Spirit has a terrific piece on where he went through every player and put together his own chart. Only Franz could do this. I call him Hoover because he's like a vacuum cleaner. I've got a list of every player that's going to play this year in front of Francis column on Gator Bait, if I might say it, GatorBaitMedia.com. And I'm looking at it, I'm reading it, I'm thinking, damn, they got some talent on this squad, you know? And there's two things I want to mention to you. One is the 6 year some of the offensive linemen are going to get. This extra COVID year, it's going to help that offensive line a lot. They're going to have a lot more experience. Now, I know they need to improve on things, but that's going to help the linebackers. Listen to this linebacker group. Now, I know the linebacker play hasn't been great. The safety needs some work. But listen to this. Jeremiah Moon, Ventrell Miller, Amari Burney, Brenton Cox, David Reese, Andrew Chatfield, Chris Bogle, Muhammad Diabate, Dewan Black. I mean, how's that for a group of linebackers? Pretty impressive. Now, is there one? I don't know if Miller is going to be that guy or what. I thought Miller was gone, but he's got to, we got, and by the way, Moon, I thought Moon was gone. He's a 6-year senior. So there's some talent there. And I know we talk about the offense, but the defense and the safety position, better linebacker play to me is the key. So when I read this list, and you can get it on Gatorbait, I'll send it to you if you want to. Look at the lineup and say, there's some talent here, man. Now, what will happen to it, we'll see. But that was a little aha moment for me right there.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to play better at the linebacker position.
Oh, no doubt.
The most critical position that I said from August of last year is defensive line. Yeah. They did add two big dudes from Penn State and Auburn that are plug-and-play guys that should help. And then offensively, I'm anxious to see what Emory can do. You know, it's going to be a totally different offense. People need to get ready now. Buddy, how many people going to be calling my show and your show bitching and complaining about us not throwing the football enough?
You can book it right now. Yes. I think the over under that's about 5 a day.
Yeah, we need to throw it more. Well, I'm telling you, folks, you ain't going to see the ball in the air, but maybe about 20 to 25 5 times at the
Wow.
most.
That's what Mullen did in Mississippi State. He became a running team there, too.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to be.
Hey, by
That's
the way,
what
the
we're gonna
linemen, real quick, Shelton and Newkirk you're talking about. And you got guys like Zach Carter coming back, Dante Lang, Jalen Humphreys, Jermaine Dexter, I got big plans for. So there is some talent that need to develop the depth. But look, they got a shot. They got some good coaches now. We'll see I want to see how the new assistant coaches do in the secondary. That's going to be a real close, real thing to observe.
Make sure you go to potupwithshane.com, enter the weekly drawing for the Chomp Harder hat. Our good folks at Chomp Harder Apparel. Buddy, before we let you go, who you got on the program tonight?
Well, I got you. That's all I really need. But I got my man, David Moulton, who knows a lot of it. I believe I got Nick Del Toro. I got to check and see, but that's what we got going on. And, we'll talk not just Super Bowl, but about a lot of different things. And by the way, I'm all in now in Tampa Bay. I didn't even listen. Here's one thing I want to make. I love not seeing the Glazers take the glory. If that were Jerry Jones, he'd be mugging for the camera all over the place. So very quietly, the Glazers have become a good ownership group.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they did it right. They did it right, no question about it. So, buddy, we are going to take our first time out of the program, and when I come back, I'm switching gears from football, and we're going to talk my favorite sport at the University of Florida.
That's amazing.
Gator softball.
Because of the coach, he's your buddy.
Well, yeah, but buddy, it is action.
Oh, I love it. I watch it. I like it.
And here's the other thing, buddy. They're pretty damn good.
They are. Ainsley Lee, who's been covering softball, is going to tell me all about it. The baseball team, softball, it's going to be a fun spring.
All right. That's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan MR hotline at Center State Bank. We put business first. We're the largest community bank in the state of Florida and understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. Center State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. Center State Bank, member FDIC. You're going to take our first time out of the program. We come back, we'll be joined by the head softball coach, Tim Walton. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning.
Hey, Gators, this is Coach Steve Spurrier. Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Darlene Weeby Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Davis Gainesville Chevrolet, Miapa Latin Cafe, Rap Spot, Aikido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TV Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Dar Shakow Insurance. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all our great sponsors that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to this Tuesday edition from the Crime Prevention Security System Studio. Celebration Points, where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Bass Pro Shop, Nike, Sensei, Dave & Buster's, opening soon Prime and Pearl, and coming spring of 2021, the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and Visor's Rooftop Bar. We will see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. We're now going to go to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by the head softball coach, Coach Tim Walton. Good morning, Tim. How are you?
I'm great, Shane. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I want to say this is year 27.
It feels like
Coaching?
it.
Yeah.
Oh, my overall career?
Yeah. Is that right?
I don't even know. That's a great question. I don't know. I think it's only, I don't even, that's, I'm getting
okay,
so old.
well,
I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so it seems like y'all haven't played in like 5 years. I mean, it's hard to believe. You started your year last year. I think you were 24-3, something along there, and then COVID hit. Talk a little bit about how difficult ending the season last year when you had a pretty good team and what y'all been doing to get ready for this year.
Yeah, the ending was obviously something that you prepare for losses, you prepare for getting beat. You don't prepare for seasons being canceled in the middle. So pretty difficult to manage. I think our players have handled it very professionally, very well. They've all stayed in tune to their school and their dedication to their degrees and to themselves for future opportunities. But we had to do a number of things a lot different. We've had to do things virtually. We haven't been able to get everybody in the same room probably since that day on March 11th. But overall, I think our players, like I said, have done a really good job. I think the most difficult part is how hard to push. And I don't think I really still have had the pedal to the metal yet in regards to pushing our team to 100% from a physical or a fitness standpoint, just because we've been limited. But I don't think we've had every one of our players at every practice, 100% or at least as close to 100% since last season. So it's been a trying task for our support staff and our trainers. But I think overall, our players are super excited to get the season going and ready to put their cleats on together as one team, as opposed to a bunch of teams who've been playing each other.
Right. Coach, talk a little bit about, your seniors had an opportunity to come back for their extra year. Who came back? I want to say Kendall Lindemann came back. I've kind of lost track, but just kind of give us a rundown of what girls are coming back this year.
Yeah, Kendall Lindemann has returned. She's already she's already a 3-time All-American. Last year, she was the academic All-American of the year for the sport of softball. So having a player of that caliber, both on and off the field, is definitely a treat. Katie Chronister arguably had her best season of her career last year. Former Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Florida, and a GHS Hurricane alum. And then Jamie Hoover, again, I think Jamie was off to a really, really good start again last year, probably her best start. So having those three is definitely a really, really bright spot. All three are going to play a major role in this year's team. They've already done that here in the off season. So they all, Kendall's working on her master's degree in sport management online. Same with Katie Chronister. Jamie Hoover's finishing her undergraduate degree. The other three, Jordan Roberts, Sophia Reynoso, and Jade Caraway came back. And then about halfway through the fall, just really decided that, she really wasn't prepared for this. And so she emotionally made the decision to come back. And now she's got a good job and she's already got her degree. She's working on her master's degree. So really in a good spot, I think, with all 6 of those players had their own opportunity to choose what they wanted to do future.
So when you look at your team this year, kind of give us a rundown of who Gator fans, when y'all run out of that dugout, kind of where everybody's going to be placed. I know it's going to change from game to game, but what's your starting lineup right now?
This will probably be the most starting lineups I probably have ever used as a coach, because I'm as deep offensively as we've been. I think we've got a lot. We're not as short game or as fast happy, but this team can really hit. So I think when you look at what we can do offensively, we're going to be able to put a lot of players in. Defensively, losing Sophia Reynoso. Sophia's been my starting shortstop for 5 years in the fall. So having a player like that gone, I really feel that void more than just the plays that she made, just the leadership, the accountability, the consistency that she brought every single day. And so you'll see Charlotte Eccles will play third, Hannah Adams will play second, Kendall Lindemann and Avery Gels will play first base. Sarah Longley may also get some stuff there. Behind the plate will be Julia Cottrell. She's arguably had as good of a fall of anybody on our team behind the plate with she frowns at me when she throws a 174 home to second on steals. So she's got a cannon of an arm. Bren Thomas and Emily Wilkie will back her up. At shortstop will be Callie Reese. Sarah Longley, Kenzie Gels, Hannah Adams will play short. Center field, Cheyenne Lindsay and Jamie Hoover. Jamie Hoover is going to start in left. And then when you go to right field, it'll be Bailey Goddard. And then Avery Gales, Sarah Longley, Katie Kistler. Those are probably our biggest opportunities to play the outfield. And then in the circle, we'll go with Elizabeth Hightower, Natalie Lugo, Katie Cronister, Riley Trilachek, and freshman Haley Pittman. So a lot of good players, really, excited. Same pitching staff really as last year for the most part. And I think that was probably the biggest surprise for everybody, is just losing Kelly Barnhill and how do we able to maintain the ERA and keep us in the game. And I think our pitching staff's really done a good job of preparing, and not only last season, but this off season and now as well.
Speaking about in the circle, it seems like 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago across softball, and maybe it's still the same, everybody had their one dominant pitcher, and she pitched pretty much every damn inning. The last couple of years, you've kind of mixed and matched and had different girls pitching. Is that due to because you didn't have that one stud ace, or are you just trying to keep girls fresh and give a different look?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, Shane, I think when our 2014 and 2015 teams are probably the 14 team was the most talented pitching circle, maybe of any team ever in the sport of softball. When you look at the accolades and the accomplishments of all of them together collectively, when you start Hannah Rogers, Lauren Hager, Delaney Gorley, and Alicia Ocasio, I mean, good gosh. So we don't have them, but I don't think that there are many that do. But I think that what we do have is a really good blend, and we've tried that ace. We've tried to ride that horse all the way through, and we've come up short in every single occasion. So I think having a true pitching staff and having a staff that requires a lot of attention to a lot of different pitches and a lot of different zones and speeds is a lot harder to prepare for an offense. So you'll see all 5 pitchers this year, and heck, you might even see all 5 pitchers on Saturday, to be honest with you. So we're really excited about the development of each one of them.
We got a text here on the Titan Mar text line. It comes from Sheila. She wants to know, Coach Walton, what was the feeling like for you as a head coach last year when the USA softball team played here in town, having some of your former girls on that team?
Sheila, that was such a surreal experience. When you look across the diamond, you've got some of the best to lace them up for us, and Kelsey Stewart, Michelle Moultrie, Aubrey Monroe. That was a really special moment for not only my family, but for those players to come back one more time and play in front of their fans. And we were obviously trying to help them with their tour on their way to Tokyo. But it was a very, very special feeling, one that I won't be able to duplicate again, although Team USA is coming back on our slate this year again in their quest for Tokyo 2020 in 2021.
All right, let's talk about this year's schedule. You open up this weekend down in Tampa against South Florida. It's usually a tournament down there, but you're basically going to play, 3 or 4 games against the Bulls?
Yeah, we're going to play a 3-game series, a doubleheader on Saturday and a single on Sunday.
Okay. South Florida is usually a pretty good little program. They still pretty good?
Yeah, Georgina Corks, the preseason AAC Pitcher of the Year, on the NCAA top 50 watch list, Player of the Year watch list. She was, I think, 1 out or 1 game away from pitching Great Britain to the Olympics. So very, very talented pitcher. But they have a pitching staff. I think when I look at their roster, I've got 21 players on my active roster, and South Florida's got like 33. So I think they have like 8 pitchers in the circle. We broke them all down, and but Georgina Cork is a special player. She's probably their best, and then they've got a bunch of other good arms in there. But Ken Erickson, obviously the USA national team coach, will coach the Olympics this year, and they're always. I mean, again, we've lost to them in a regional. We've lost to them, plenty of times. They're a very talented team. It'll be fun to open, a little bit different surroundings, not having a lot of fans in the stands, but I think it's still a good opportunity to play good softball right away.
At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. A few more minutes here with Coach Tim Walton. You can follow him on Twitter @_Tim Walton. All right, Coach, your schedule. You come back home, you'll have a little tournament here, but you always do a tournament out in California because you have so many girls on your roster from the state of California. That ain't happening this year, right?
Yeah, quite a few circumstances. The state of California is still going through, their process of phases opening up, if they even are. So, I think ultimately the decision was made really late, to not go out to California and stay here close to home, and try not to spend as many days on the road if possible. So yeah, I mean, I hate it. I haven't seen my family in a long time, other than Zoom, probably like most. But I have a lot of players that, that's part of my recruiting pitch is, we're going to come out west every single year. It's the first time, I think, since 2006, my first year, that we haven't been out west.
And when you look at your schedule, obviously the SEC, I want to say, has 9 teams ranked in the top 25. It's a dominant softball league. Who would you say, and I know it's early, but who's the team we got to beat to win the SEC?
LSU and Alabama, and in my early season assessment, I think they've got the most proven pitching staff returning. I'd say those would be those two to me. Maybe Tennessee as well in the top, the top 3 off the top of my head. But I think LSU and Alabama are probably the preseason favorites from most people's perspectives.
And from a fan's perspective, as you said, I think your girls and y'all feed off the crowd a lot. I mean, the stadium is packed every game. How many people are going to allow into Katie Seashoal Presley Stadium this year with COVID?
Yeah, I don't know the total number. I don't think anybody's given me a percentage. If it's 20%, 25%, I think that our administration's really done a good job. You've got so many different layers here. So again, if you're inviting seniors to come back to play softball for one more year, you've got to have their families have to be priority number one to be able to watch them play and participate. So that's the first layer is our players. Then the second layer is the opponent's players, because they're going through the same exact situation that we are. And then you have your season ticket holders. And I know there's going to be, I know a lot of people are instant messaging or DMing me and my family and people like that. Tickets are going to be tough to get. Really tough to get. But I think when you look at it, the next priority is obviously our season ticket holders, the boosters, and then whatever tickets aren't being used, then they'll go to maybe a general admission, and there'll probably be, anywhere from 4 to 24 tickets available, just like every other sport on this campus has been, from the fall to the spring. So I'm guessing about 25%. That's the number I'm looking at. But we've had to make a lot of different safety protocol changes, and I'll tell Sheila and anybody else that's going to send you messages, Shane, to send us your best cheers. Send us your best. We need to get the dugout live. We need to get everybody excited in the dugout, because we're going to have to probably create more of our own energy than we are going to be able to create the energy from the other fans.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very strange, because that place is always packed. Dan says on Facebook Live he's very excited to watch the Gators. He's made many trips to the Women's College World Series to see y'all. Last thing, Coach, and I think I ask you this every year. When in the world are we going to host the SEC tournament?
Shane, it's funny listening to, obviously Joe. I love Joe at MRI, at Titan MRI, and all the other people that you have going on, and Chris Doring. But you've been one of my closest friends since I've been here, and you asked me that every time I see you. We were supposed to host it in 2015. I've never hosted the SEC tournament since I've been the coach here for 16 years. But there's a reason. The reason is because we added 2 teams to the SEC when we added A&M and we added Missouri. And then because we're hosting other events, it kind of just set us back a little bit. And then now when we added the SEC, when we added the new facility and renovation, we were on track to host. So we were supposed to host this year, 2021. We will be hosting the SEC tournament next year. And again, obviously I'm here and I do it every day, and I know the process that it takes to host and what it means, but we had a lot of other things that were on track. I think we hosted the SEC golf tournament. We've hosted the SEC tennis tournament. So long story short, we're hosting next year, Shane. It'll be our time.
About time. I mean, because I can't imagine that weekend. Watching it on TV's been great, but all those great teams to be able to watch in one place will be a lot of fun. Last thing, Coach, I think 2 of your seniors, Eccles and Lindemann, are up for National Player of the Year. Do you think they have an opportunity to possibly win that?
Yeah. So Charlotte Eccles and Shane is because of COVID She's technically a junior, but she's actually got 3 years of eligibility left. So Charlotte and Kendall were both preseason top 50 watch list. Both are on the SEC, all SEC team preseason. I think either one of them, I mean, again, in my mind, most of the time, the best player in college softball comes off of one of the best teams. You can't just go out and hit 550 and your team's 12-33 and expect you to be the NCAA player of the year or the USA softball player of the year. So I do think that both of them have a chance to win that award. But it's going to take a team effort to get them the accolades and the accomplishments that they deserve. But they can really hit once from the right, once from the left. And I think I call Charlotte she's a professional hitter, but she's an assassin, man. She wants to kill the ball every time you throw it. So I love watching her hit. She's special.
That's awesome. I got one last thing, because I know you're very close to Becky Burley. She's retiring. Your thoughts? I know she's probably done a lot speaking to your girls. Just your thoughts real quick on Becky Burley.
Yeah, Becky's one of the coolest people I've ever met. I think that's the easiest way to say it. She's bad, man. She's the glue that's kind of helped our head coaches group together. We got a close head coaches group that share a lot. Becky's on the forefront of that. I think that Becky's just, she's one of those. She loves her players. She loves her program. She loves her. I don't think she calls it a job. I mean, she just comes to work every day and does her thing. But I'm close with Becky. We share a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas. I'm disappointed that she's not going to be here with us and continue what we've done as an athletic department. But I think overall, she's one of the reasons why. She's just what Jeremy Foley, said to me in my recruiting kind of visit. She is why you want to be a Gator. She's an ultimate Gator, an ultimate competitor, and a winner. But again, she's a special, special human being, and gonna miss her on her field. But I'm sure she'll still be around here a lot. She's a really cool person.
Yeah, Coach, appreciate you taking the time. Good luck to you guys, you girls this year, and we will be following you.
If Gino Oriema can say your guys, and you can listen to Sherry Cole say your guys, and Don Staley. I mean, they all do it. So our guys, our women are super excited to get out there and get after it together as one team. Really appreciate your time today, Shane, and thanks for everybody for listening. Go Gators.
All right, that's Tim Walton. Join us on the Titan MR Hotline. Take our final time out. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our Gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Chomp Harder Apparel,
Silver Q, State Farm Insurance Agent Ruse Ogra.
If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all our great sponsors that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. I want to thank Buddy Martin and head softball coach Tim Walton for joining us. Hope you enjoyed that. Tim's a good dude, man, and he has got a hell of a softball program that they just continue. It's a guarantee they're going to be in Oklahoma City pretty much every year. Tomorrow's program, make sure you tune in. We'll have Roland Thornquist, head women's tennis coach here at the University of Florida, talk about his team, and also JC as well. Make sure you follow us and like us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. Be safe out there, folks. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. See you tomorrow.